and we're going to be talking about people who are really passionate about innovation. And Sabri and I wanted to convey some content about things that are really very interesting, fascinating, in fact, how we could, the idea is, how do you think about a cybersecurity strategy? How do you work on it? How do you come up with it? But first of all, who's Fortress? So Sabri, over to you. Fortress is a service company dedicated to cybersecurity of industrial facilities, which was created in January 2024 by my friend Caroline. The idea here in our line of business today, we are almost the only ones dedicated to this specific activity, and our ambition is to become a leading cyber service provider for industrial facilities. We cover the entire value chain from strategy and consultancy. So answering the question, where do I start? Then the transformation and processing with our technological partners. That's to start up the business. And then in the medium term, mostly looking at dedicated management activities. And TXOne is also an entrepreneurial adventure, as it were, initiatives from a global cybersecurity actor. But over the last 2 years, there was an initiative by the founder to create a dedicated brand, a brand dedicated to securing and protecting constrained environments, specific environments in industrial facilities. So everything you can encounter in the real world that's going to have an impact in the real world. So it's 450 people. It's a Taiwanese company, TXOne, and we work from protection to detecting threats in these environments, which are critical for businesses. Now, to come back a little bit about Fortress Cybersecurity and what it is we do now about strategy. The first thing, I'm often going to talk about industrial facilities. I'm not talking about tools, because in fact, in a plant today, you don't necessarily have the production tool at the outset. You have a number of components that are subsidiary to production, energy, laboratories, all of these systems that you have need to be integrated as part of the cyber plans. That's what we're talking about in industrial facility. The second thing I wanted to say about strategy is that we work mostly on a logic of supporting our clients. We think of this in several steps. The reflex, when you start thinking about protection, you start immediately looking at the obsolete part, which to my mind, in fact, leads us to deviate a little bit. We waste a lot of time at the beginning of the program, in particular with new projects. Now, to explain, and I'm going to give you an example, which is a bathtub. So we have a bathtub that's full of vulnerabilities, weaknesses in industrial systems. So the objective is to manage obsolescence. Of course, we need to empty the bathtub. But at the same time, you've got new projects coming in. So you've got the tap that's still on and that is feeding into this bathtub. And so we keep on running behind management of obsolescence and correcting obsolete systems and the existing vulnerabilities, and at the same time you always have the new projects that are bringing their stock of new weaknesses and vulnerabilities. So we are thinking in the short term, you need to turn the tap off. Quite frankly, you just need to close the tap and look at the new projects, propose a framework, adapted solutions that are suited to the new projects, and concomitantly, you deal with the obsolete part, the existing facilities and tools. And then how do you get the existing facility with its obsolete systems to achieve a consistent cybersecurity target? All right, so I understand the 3 times, so short-term, medium-term, and long-term with Fortress expertise. And the idea is also at TXOne is we have developed solutions to support these 3 phases. TXOne has built around 3 major themes, how you can easily inspect without being intrusive in terms of facilities. So how can you also support regular inspection methods, Then a pillar around the protection of the workstation. How can I bring in cybersecurity without disturbing the available performance of the machines? How can I support life cycles in plants in the long term, because they're much longer than what we find in traditional IT? And how can I install these solutions without having to reboot, without disturbing the nominal operation of an industrial process? The third phase for us at TXOne is an approach through the network. So when you can't inspect through USB ports or through software, well, what's left is the network. At TXOne Networks, we've developed and co-designed with many industrialists to learn from their protocols, from the way they work with the network, and that's how we address cyber, so that we can be as transparent as possible and that we can support a strategy with those three phases: short, medium, and long term. And we'll see afterwards why we're even more relevant when on the two themes that I suggest we discuss. So we talked about the three phases, but on a day-to-day basis, what can you offer in terms of, strategy, working with teams, everything you have in that bathtub you were talking about on a daily basis? What do you offer your clients in terms of strategy? Well, strategy today, it's also the topic of what I'm going to be talking about at 12 today on how to create a cyber plan. We have 8 major points that need to be addressed. What is the scope? First of all, what is the scope that you want to address? As I said earlier, we have tools that steer systems that steer production. We have subsidiary systems. So this dimension is, what is the scope we want to deal with here? The second component, which is the organization. So a project, cyber project to protect an industrial facility is not it's a project where you will integrate teams on site, the IT department teams. I have my mindset, my philosophy is to make sure that everyone works together. So information technology departments really need to play a role in this process. It's an essential, and it's part of the IT for industry process. And then there's that part, and then we have to establish a number of priorities and develop the framework. Now, for me, the framework, whether it's technical measures or organizational measures, that is absolutely essential, because thanks to the framework, we will be able to roll out a security model that is consistent and uniform over all the different sites. And we will be able to manage the risk comprehensively, so not only at the level of the plant or the system, but in a transversal, a cross-functional approach throughout the system. So for me, that's the essential component of our approach. So same thing, really. I think that I really get what you're saying about the security by design in the projects, in the support we give to our clients, and also in terms of supporting industrial assets. We know that security by design is like the holy grail, as it were. If we develop industrial processes with assets and machines that already have cybersecurity, I think that if we could do that, then we wouldn't all be here. The idea is at TXOne is, what can we do? We have a very pragmatic approach. It's almost a breakthrough approach with innovation, but the idea is to offer solutions that are adapted and that will not disturb the existing ecosystem. So as an example, we have a memory stick, a USB stick, and we have on this USB key, we let users, all the staff around the reserved areas in companies, we bring them in your pocket, basically, cybersecurity with a visual element. And with that, we'll be instantly able to say if the machine that is in front of us is infected or if it is not infected. And this is an extremely worthwhile approach, and it's very interesting for existing plants. So to serve this strategy for new projects, but also for existing plants. While we're waiting for Secure by Design to work, TXOne is offering a whole set of those little ideas and solutions to bring cyber into the plant pragmatically. Just to follow on from that, I was talking about how we integrate the whole organization. One of the advantages, I was also a TXOne client before when I was a cyber director at a company. It's important is that you actually leave the floor to the teams in the plant. You know, when you want to roll out a system in a plant, operators are always scared that they're going to lose control because their job is to guarantee that the production tool actually produces. So if you don't give them control of the tools, they feel that they're not in control of they need to have a solution where the operator in the plant can use the solution with a certain level of autonomy, and they can therefore keep control of what is happening and of the production tool. And that's an important advantage. It's extremely important when you want to be able to take action quickly and you want to work quickly on sites. So this human factor, of course, I mean, the human factor gives all its meaning to TXOne. It's a whole set of solutions. It's one of the requirements we have when we design products. Because there's the industrial world of processes and there's the IT digital world. But, you know, the staff, they are the ones who are working with the industrial process. They are the ones who can go work in a reduced or mode if you know, they have processes, they have ways to work on backup systems. For example, they are the ones who know how these cybersecurity solutions are actually going to work in their plants. So we need to bring them solutions that are adapted to their daily work. And that is something that works well. And perhaps in a few words, say something about our cooperation. Where are we going? What are we working on in terms of strategy? Our work is really to focus on the strategy and implementation approach. So how you achieve that security target. The second phase in the implementation is to support change management to reach that objective. And in terms of solutions, I just want to say that we are here to serve the strategy which is put forward and proposed, advocated by Fortress. So what we're trying to do is to implement all of that, find simple ways to bring adapted cybersecurity that's adapted to the environments, but also to the operations, to the staff who are tasked with the industrial process. So we have 1 minute and 30 seconds left if there are any questions. Well, thank you very much. But all those who are interested, please don't hesitate to come and see you. We have a stand here. We have demonstrations. What's your stand number? E11. It's the first stand at the Industrial Village, E11. And I'll be there with the whole TXOne team, and also Fortress will be there to be able to show you what we do. It's a fascinating topic. Thank you very much.